Well, an update tonight, months after a Carlton County crash killed 2 people. Tonight, authorities said no charges will be filed. The collision happened on December 26th at the intersection of East Stark Road and Kenosha Road. That's in Thompson Township, north of Esco. Authorities say a pickup truck and a car crashed that morning. The driver and passenger of the car, 2 people from southern Minnesota, died at the scene. The 32-year-old man from Thompson Township driving the pickup, along with a 1-year-old boy, were taken to the hospital. Tonight, authorities shared the driver of the pickup will not face criminal charges. They said the decision comes after a full review from the Carlton County Attorney's Office.